Greetings, this is Jim Phillips with Remember Veteran Day Grave Markers. Well, we're almost at the end of June, and a number of things happened in the Civil War at the end of June. You already know that this is the 160th anniversary of the end of the Civil War, and it would have been around the 162nd anniversary of the end of Gettysburg and Vicksburg. So, two big battles that occurred, and this year we celebrate them during this particular time. Celebrate them in remembrance, but not celebrating the sadness that such a loss of life had caused. So, we remember always. I want to bring your attention to Rupp Cemetery, a cemetery that I recently visited, and that we did some cleaning of the 8 veterans there. And looking at these veterans and doing some investigation of them, I found something interesting, at least interesting to me and perhaps interesting to you, something that you should jump into. One of the things I found is the commonality of things. You know, here we are in a small cemetery in White House, Ohio, and we have 8 veterans, all from different regiments of the Ohio Infantry. So we got the 68th, 100th, 123rd, 14th, 29th, and 128th. Now, each of them have a particular story I think is rather interesting. And I'll share that with you as we go along here. And I'll present the names of the individuals as we go. Now, Patrick Condon, you'll see the grave here, he was in the 68th Ohio Infantry. Now, the 68th was involved in both the early Western campaigns and then the later Western campaigns. Early Western campaigns, really like Shiloh, Vicksburg, and such. And then later on in the campaigns was this Atlanta, Chattanooga, and events such as that. That was the 68th. Interestingly enough, is that the 100th Ohio Infantry, they were involved in the same battles as the 68th was. This is John Duck. And they too were involved in Shiloh, involved in Vicksburg, Corinth, as well as in Chattanooga, and in the Siege of Atlanta, Kennesaw Mountain. It really takes them all the way up to the end of the Civil War over in South Carolina, North Carolina, and then the closure in April of 65. The next one is Jacob Disher. Jacob Disher was in the 123rd Ohio Infantry. Now, interestingly about this one is that the 123rd focused their attention on the Eastern Campaign, which is effectively the Gettysburg and the Army of the Potomac. That whole area east of the Appalachians was where the 123rd was, and that was Jacob Disher. Now, Corporal John Foster was with the 14th Ohio Infantry. Now, the 14th also was a Western theater operator, again, looking at Shiloh, Vicksburg, Corinth, as well as Nashville, Chattanooga, and down to Atlanta. Same as the previous one. Going to the next is that this is Cornelius Clark. Cornelius Van Clark was in the 29th Ohio. Now, the 29th Ohio was rather interesting because it started out in the Eastern Campaign, east of the Appalachians, and then were brought west to help out, looks like probably helping out at the campaign in Chattanooga, helping out General Grant and General Sherman and the generals out there in taking on Lookout Mountain, because he transferred from the Eastern Campaign Theater to the Western Theater, which would be considered the Army of the Cumberlands. So that's where that would be what happened with Cornelius Clark in the 29th Ohio. The next one would be Royal June. Royal is Royal Jones. Private Jones was in the 128th Ohio Infantry. Now, the interesting thing of the 128th Ohio Infantry is that they worked at Johnson Island over near Sandusky. They were managing the prisoner of war site for the Confederate officers there at Johnson Island. So 128th Ohio Infantry was focused specifically on POW duties up here. So you have 7 or 8 different types of organizations, different. The 68th, 100th, the 123rd, the 14th, the 29th, and the 128th, all doing different things. Some of them doing them at the same time, and others just doing totally separate stuff. I just thought it was unique to see in one small cemetery the variety of different people and veterans that served in those campaigns. A common one, again, for any of the Civil War buffs, is that the Western campaign really focuses on anything west of the Appalachians to the Mississippi, and the Eastern campaign is eastern of the Appalachians. So there's some pretty good information there that you could take away and use. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video. It is important because the information that we share today is stuff that you want to be able to share with your loved ones and with people that want to know more about their heritage. Take care. God bless. Until next time, this is Jim Phillips.